So how about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moving on? They will play for the George Halas Trophy in Green Bay. I am very excited as a Buccaneers fan. This is fun times. It was a wild game, stressful game for me, probably a fun game for neutral fans. Let's talk about what happened and all of the chaos that would go on. I want to start it off here. So we're already in the second quarter, but the reason why I want to start it off here is because this is a, second down and 9, whatever. But the play call, it's man coverage that Tampa Bay is in. They ran a little bit of zone early on. They really mostly played man, which is what I talked about going into this game. If they play man, they had a real shot, and they really shut down the Saints both times they played when they played man. If you go back and watch those games, they really struggled when they played zone, but man was the exception. And this play is a great example of that, where Sean Murphy-Bunting is going to be the guy. It's a cover one man blitz, so it's a blitz, only one safety deep, and then man across the board, which Tampa Bay can do since the Saints offense isn't really built around getting the ball deep. Now, I think a lot of people wondered, well, what are you going to do against Michael Thomas? He's great against man coverage, and he is, but, sometimes great against great can favor the defense. That's what's going to happen on this play. As you see, really, it's just great job of, Michael Thomas tries to use his contact at the line, which he does really well, but really, I feel like Sean Murphy-Bunting did a great job at not causing that contact to disrupt him too much. It disrupted him a little bit, but not too much. You also see Devin White. Devin White had his best game in the NFL by far. We'll get more into that in a second. But you see that there's really no separation here. And so for Michael Thomas, there's not really a lot he can do. This is a throw that Breeze shouldn't have made, but I do think that Breeze, sometimes you get a little used to having a great safety blanket in Thomas, who always gets open in man. Sometimes they don't get open, but you're just so used to throwing it to them once you read the coverage that you throw it anyways. Maybe that's what happened, but either way, this is just a throw that Breeze should never have made. There's just no separation, and you got to give credit to Sean Murphy-Bunting. But that's only the first part, right? Because the bright side usually is that it's difficult for a corner to get their head turned around against this type of situation. It's easier for a receiver to do it because they know when the ball is coming, more or less. But that goes back to Todd Bowles, who anyone who talks smack on Todd Bowles, they should come meet someone in the parking lot after, because he had a great game plan. And part of what he does is he gets his corners and he teaches all these defensive players, if you think you have an opportunity for an interception or a turnover, you go for it, because a turnover is worth way more than making a quick tackle. It's just so much bigger of a deal. And so he kind of teaches his corners to do that. That's what Murphy-Bunting is going to do. Once he reads that Thomas is looking for the ball, he's going to turn around. And watch how Murphy-Bunting does get this interception and even breaks the tackle from Michael Thomas to get more yards. They ended up getting all the way to the 3-yard line. Can't show the whole clip, it'll get copyrighted, but I can show that part. Just an incredible defensive play, but also a huge mistake for the Saints. And, sometimes in football, they're one and the same. The very next play, this would happen, and this has got to feel good for Mike Evans. Mike Evans didn't have a lot to do in this game, for sure, but he had this one play against Lattimore, who Lattimore is the guy that has absolutely shut down Mike Evans. And, I'm a member of the Mike Evans fan club, for sure. Again, I'm talking about this through a Bucs fan's perspective. How can I not? It was such a wild win. But you see that Mike Evans, he's running a slant here. He's going to the inside. But that's not what Evans has done through a lot of his career, and it's certainly not a lot of what he's done against Lattimore or in the end zone. I specifically remember the second time they played, Tampa Bay had this very similar concept, but they had Evans run a fade, which is what they like to do in these situations. It's especially what Brady likes to do. He's one of the best in NFL history at, well, everything, but especially goal line fades. But Lattimore is really good at defending them. So this is kind of a don't have an ego type play. Don't worry about what you're good at. Worry about what your opponent is good at, and don't do that. And so while Lattimore is so great at stopping those goal line fades, you can kind of get away with a little bit better when you go to the inside. Watch how Evans fakes it, that's what he's doing, which gets Lattimore to the outside. Evans makes a great grab. I wonder if Lattimore sort of thought, okay, goal line fade coming. But that's just, good X's and O's right there. And again, say what you want about this Buccaneers coaching staff. It was not a perfect day, but they absolutely had their bright moments. This one was definitely one of them. Just sort of a little switch there, which got them 7 points. And, it's not so easy to score in the red zone against the Saints team, but they were able to do it relatively well, largely because of just smart football. We'll skip ahead again. I think this play was maybe the play of the game, even though I think it's kind of might get a little bit forgotten about, where it's 3rd down and 11, and it was 3rd down and 1. The reason why it's 3rd down and 11 is because of a penalty. They converted to 3rd and 1, big 40-yard rush, gets called back. That can be a back-breaking play, and if they have to punt it, it will be a return. We've seen how Tampa Bay's return team had struggled in this game, even, no matter who's back there, they've still struggled. And so getting this first down is absolutely crucial, but it's tough to do. This Saints team doesn't give up explosive plays. They don't give up 10-plus yard plays either, and so this is a difficult play to get. And you also have Tyler Johnson being the key guy here. This is not Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Cameron Brate, Scotty Miller. I mean, this guy is probably the 6th biggest guy you'd want to go to in this moment. But at the same time, that just kind of shows what this Tampa Bay wide receiving core is they have so many guys where their wide receiver 4 can make clutch plays in big moments. The concept is this is one of the few times you saw the Saints go one safety deep, and they could do it because they knew that realistically they were probably going to get pressure since they're blitzing here, which also should mention that the second time these two teams played, Tampa Bay could not pick up a blitz for the life of them. They were much better at that in this game. Now, the Saints didn't blitz as much, so that's another factor here and there. But still, without a doubt, this is a situation that the Saints do feel confident about pre-snap. So Brady takes the snap. Blitz is picked up nicely. There's even a twist which they pick up, which Tampa Bay has struggled with that against New Orleans. They struggled with that early in this game, but they pick it up. So it was a quick throw, but also nicely done by the offensive line. And you see that Brady is going for a back shoulder throw to Tyler Johnson here. And again, Tyler Johnson, a name that many Tampa Bay fans know, but that's usually because we're talking about hockey, not football. This is a throw that you're trying for the back shoulder here, but Brady's throw is a bit off. It's fair to say that. Brady's throw is a bit too far to the outside, and so that's going to create a much more difficult throw. If this throw was right on Johnson, he makes the grab easily, but because it's going a bit too far off, it's going to be tough, and part of me wonders if that's just a reps thing. Brady and Tyler Johnson probably don't have as much reps as Brady and Mike Evans do, so that is an issue. It absolutely is, but at the same time, this is why you have wide receiver depth. This is why you draft someone in the 5th round, which isn't a position of need, because they can still potentially come through. Johnson makes just a incredible catch. I mean, under the circumstances, that's one of the best catches in Buccaneers history, I think. I mean, to make that kind of grab, get the first down, this eventually led to a touchdown. There was another big Scotty Miller play on 3rd down and 5. Those types of plays are what oftentimes NFL games come down to, and that's what they were able to do there. Just an incredible play. And now let's talk about this play. This one, my favorite. So Devin White, I'm going to talk about Devin White for a second. He's someone who's been, loved for his ability to stop the run, for his ability to blitz. He's been someone heavily criticized for his coverage ability. He struggled in coverage a lot this season. This is a quarters coverage, meaning there's only 3 players over the middle of the field. Devin White is one of them right here. So that's kind of interesting, and that's a big deal because what the Saints are doing is you see Alvin Kamara's route. It's a go route, but it's going to be in a gap in coverage early on, and that's what Brady wants to hit. Brady wants to hit this route early, but remember, this is a route that's designed to go deep, and I'm not sure if they realize this is going to be quarters coverage. This isn't something the Saints do, or excuse me, the Buccaneers do a ton, so maybe that's why they got a bit fooled. And I also should criticize me a bit because I said never play zone. Don't play zone. Man coverage is the thing to do. Well, they sprinkled in zone perfectly in this game, so they were able to kind of use it when necessary, and this was a great example of it. But watch, so they circle Devin White on the screen, the broadcast team does, and you see right here, Alvin Kamara is open. If he sits down right here, he has the catch. He can maybe run after the catch. He's Alvin Kamara. Him with the ball in his hands is dangerous, and this is probably a first down. And remember, the Saints are down 3 at this point. This is far from over by any means. But Devin White is making a perfect read on this. Incredible job by White. He realizes what Alvin Kamara doesn't, which is, hey, there's this huge zone and huge gap in coverage right here. I got to get over there. And he also reads Breeze, notices Breeze is throwing there, and is going to try and cut it off. So, again, under the circumstances, to make this kind of read as a second-year player is absurd, but what's even more impressive is going to be his break on the ball, and people can criticize Alvin Kamara if they want to for not stopping, but his route is a go route, and he's running his route, and this is the kind of thing where you would hope that the Saints would sort of have this thing ironed out before this point. And I think it's kind of there's a weird twist of I'm not sure if it's irony or what, that the Buccaneers, the first two games, completely could not get on the same page with all of their receivers and had massive plays go against them because of that. Well, here it's the Saints having that issue. White breaks in, just a beautiful read. He makes the grab, even makes a good run back. Their run backs on both of those interceptions were good. That eventually led to a touchdown, which iced the game essentially. There was another interception later that really did it. But yeah, this was just an awesome game. I'm super happy that the Buccaneers have now won 2 playoff games. They're going to the NFC Championship game. They will play the Green Bay Packers, who they smoked in the regular season, but it's going to be a different game. I mean, take this game as a clear example of the fact that you can't always just look at the first time two teams played and say, well, that's probably how it's going to go. Teams change, and these two teams are very different teams than they played last time. But, I mean, yeah, what an awesome game. I'm very happy about it. Very fun. What do you guys think? Let me know. What are your thoughts on this game? It was very fun to watch now that I know the Bucs won. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.